Timmy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Couch Pierce, episode 6.
Whoa, 6.
Yeah.
I don't know how... No, that's 7, right? What's 6?
6.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how we got this far. It's like that, what's that meme where he's like, look at us. Who would have thought, huh?
You know yeah. Paul Rudd, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
It's from Hot Ones.
Oh, what are you drinking there, Tim?
Slugfest from Summit. Juicy IPA. It's actually a donation from my brother for the show.
Right?
Yep.
Wow, what a great donor.
Shout out. He's a weekly listener, I guess bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, wow.
Yeah.
So as soon as they come out, he listens, or is it like
last time, so
convenience?
I was at my parents' house working on a woodworking project because I don't have a lot of space to do that in my studio apartment. And he was listening to it while I was there. He came out and was talking to me. He goes, "I'm listening to you right now." It's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool guy.
Cool. Well,
have you ever met him? I don't think you have.
I think did he come to the St. Paul house once? I think I was leaving when he arrived.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they came to pick me up to go somewhere or something.
Yeah, I do not know. What does he drive?
Ford Focus. The red one.
I don't know.
He probably didn't drive it there though. I don't know.
Cheerio.
Yep.
All right.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Did we get any DMs or anything? I kind of had to remove myself from the social media.
I don't really remember, but we did get a marketing email. Did you see that?
No. What does that mean?
It was a guy that reached out from some company that they try to hook podcasts together, so you grow your audience by having other podcasts on your podcast.
Oh, how much does that cost?
I think it said it was free. I didn't really look into it. I'm like, that's not really kind of what we do on our show anyway. We don't really talk to other people.
I mean, I
don't know how we would do it.
I mean, we could figure out a way, but I think it would have to be, I don't know. It's tough to do that to strangers about having a show with strangers.
Right.
Exactly. It's if it was Joe Rogan or Theo Von.
Yeah.
Then we could maybe.
It seems like a little bit of a reach for.
Well, exactly. But we kind of know, we've listened to them. We know what their shows are kind of about and how they talk and everything. It's I guess we
just to have random people on that we don't know.
Yeah, it's okay, what are you guys like? Oh, okay, weird.
I'm bad at talking to random people that I don't know. Period. So
I'm good. I'm good at it.
I'm
very good. I today I was calling some customers with past due stuff, and oh man, I love it because I don't know. Maybe it's me, the perception that I can talk to anyone in accounting because I just ask for someone in accounting, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, sure," and then I just ask them and I approach it it's not you haven't paid us yet. It's, hey, you guys popped up on my past due report, and that's really strange of you guys. I just want to make sure you guys have it and everything's okay. And they're oh, they're happy to help. They're jolly about it. And then it's it's always they have to pull it up and it takes a little bit of time. There's some dead air. And usually by that point I have their name, so then I use it. So I'm Wendy, what is the weather like down there? Down there, because usually our customers are from the South or Southwest, or there's a few in Seattle or whatnot, but I'm kind of how is it down there? And sometimes they have an accent, so even more I can say down there and be okay. Anyway, yeah.
That's funny that you say that because do you know what a Myers-Briggs is? It's
a test.
Yeah.
I passed it with flying colors.
I don't think you can pass it. I also don't think you can fail it though. It's like a personality test. So today, just randomly, I was I wonder what my Myers-Briggs rating is or whatever. So I took a test. One of the questions was, do you avoid making phone calls? And I was like, strongly agree.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, but this is funny that you said that you enjoyed making phone calls.
I used to not like phone calls until I made like 2 phone calls, and it was only when I knew what I was talking about is when I felt confident enough to take that to every phone call.
Yeah, I get that.
And even it's just, yeah, it's one of those things I think that you got to practice it, and you got to force yourself to practice, because that's how I got better at it, is I had to explain to non-accounting people what happened with their account, or what happened this, that, and why something, and they were like, they don't care. That's an accounting thing. I don't care about that. And that's where I'm like, that's, so then I got better at explaining, I wouldn't say it's baiting, but that's how I would visually describe it, is I'm like, I got like a line, and I'm just kind of like dangling it in front of them. Like, I think this happened. I know it didn't, but I just let them set their own hook.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I reel them in and say like, oh, this is oh yeah. And then I unravel what I already know. And then it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's not manipulating by any means, but it's like it's almost being perceived as someone who doesn't know what they're talking about and then you set the hook, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot." And then when you start like, God, you just like kind of like, you get them with like the information, you have facts, and you say, "Well, hold on, I have this check number." I have like, when you have all the information at your fingertips,
mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible to feel. You should never feel not. I guess not confident. Like someone, even if you're not confident about talking, I think if you had information that you were of what you were talking about and you felt comfortable with it,
mm-hmm.
I think even if you have like a very abrasive person yakking at you, I think it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you don't have to worry, because you're like, I'm right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that I always want to be right. It's that
you're right.
No. I want the truth, and I want the best thing. That's like, and I think if you have a general, I guess, truth seeking, aura, I guess, I don't know what the hell you'd call it. But I think on your path to seek the truth about any situation, whether that be your job or a problem at your job or like people or anything like that, to see what happened, and you don't think it's because this one thing. If you go down the path of like, this is what happened, and then you find out at the very end that that's not how it played out, then you're an idiot. Or you should feel like an idiot and correct and say, oh, I shouldn't be super biased towards something because I think it happened this way. That's on your journey to find the truth. You should really be open to all possibilities, because in my experience, more often than not, what I thought happened did not. And so I was like, I feel like an idiot because I was so convinced that this is what happened.
And then like you spend so much time thinking about it, and then you get that one nugget of information and you're like, oh my gosh, I was wrong.
Right. And then there are people who see that and say, they either dismiss it because it's like, no, I'm right and it doesn't matter, or I've beaten everyone up around me saying that this is what happened. Mm-hmm. I don't want to appear like an idiot. And that's really that sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, yeah, I've done that maybe a couple times early on in my career because I had no idea. And now I've got to the point where I'm like, I want the truth, and I don't really, I don't care if someone's like pissed off at me or like doesn't like me poking, because it's like, I'm not here to get anyone in trouble. I'm here to like make things right.
Yeah.
And find out why something wrong happened, so then we can correct it and move forward.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell we started talking about this.
Yeah, me either.
Oh no, you said you were really good at talking with people, and Myers-Briggs is a test that I only pass.
I think maybe next episode we'll do like I'll give you a Myers-Briggs test live, and then the website that I used it took me like maybe 5 minutes to fill it out. The website that I used, it like breaks down your like strengths and weaknesses based on your personality score, and
I think I may have taken that. I might have that saved somewhere on my home laptop. Maybe if you have your results, I'll find one, or maybe I'll just take it and then we can discuss our results.
I think it'd be more fun to do it live.
No,
so
because
you can hear the answers to your questions.
My answers might be different because I would want to discuss every answer, and that would take forever. Because I would say sometimes it's like sometimes, all the time.
Yeah,
does not apply. And
this one, it was all like whether you agree or disagree, and then like to a rating. So like some of my answers were
3 options, or is there 5 options?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are easier. That's easier.
Yeah. It was fun. And then I was like reading like through like what my strengths and weaknesses are. I'm like, I feel like this website knows me better than I know myself.
Everyone says that. I mean, but so here's my question, or it would be for me. It would be a psychological study, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take your exam or your Myers-Briggs test thing, and the result, maybe you're like a certain type, and that you read all it and you're like, oh my God, that's me. What if, as a experimenter, I put in a completely different personality or whatever the hell it kicks out?
Like you didn't answer it truthfully, you mean?
No. You answered it truthfully, but I gave you the wrong result. And I wonder if you were to read it, would you be like, oh my God, this is me?
I don't think so.
See, you don't think so, but I think so. I think a lot of people would be like, I can see that. Like
we could do like where you mix in like you have my real results, and then you mix in some fake ones and see if I can pick out the fake ones. I bet I could.
Could or couldn't?
I bet I could.
Well, that's because I'd probably be like, I'd lead you on and be like, well, here you go, Tim. This is totally you. And then it'll be like, loves outgoing to talk to people and make phone calls all the time. And Tim will be like, wrong.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
Let's just start with this. We'll make it fun. DM us if you have a good idea.
Actually, so we've mentioned Sam a bunch in previous episodes. His fiance is going to school for psychology. She's about to get her doctorate. I wonder if she's like, Myers-Briggs is a scam.
Well, did you pay for it?
No.
Oh, scam.
No, it's free. Yeah, scam. Or like, she's like, there's no weight to it.
There's another test. I think I took it. I think I paid like $12 for it. Not.
Was it an IQ test?
Yeah, I passed that test too.
150. Easy. You paid for a test $12. What?
Yeah, no, I think it was. I didn't know I was paying for it. If that makes sense. I think it was like, I don't know, it may have been on Google Pay or something, and I had some cash built up, and I was like, oh, cool, and then ended up, like, I exceeded all my Google Cash, so then it actually went on my card, and that's where I was like, $12. I don't know what the hell that was. Anyway, yeah, bad story. That was dumb, but...
That's okay. That's allowed.
So, what else do you have? Do you have anything to specifically want to talk about? Because I'm trying to think of some good stuff.
I got a music thing. It's a little... I'm not going to play a song. I'm going to teach you something that I learned about music in my guitar learnings. Also have a quote that I heard on a podcast, and I want your reaction to it because I think you'll enjoy it.
I always do.
So, I was listening to a podcast while I was woodworking, and it was with...
Time out. Is this a quote or is this
No, this is me explaining it.
The quote?
No. Yeah, explaining like where it came from.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, I was listening to a podcast with this dude, Anthony Pompliano. He's like a pretty big Bitcoin dude. He's on CNBC all the time, kind of messing with the anchors and stuff. He's I like him. But He was on a podcast. It was like a comedy podcast. I'd never watched it before, but it's kind of dumb. He was like explaining Bitcoin to them, whatever, and explaining kind of the history of money. And there was one of the guys that worked on the show was like in his 20s, and he asked him like how he should plan out his future, like investment wise. And he said, if I said to you, are you wealthy? Most people would think in terms of dollars or financial assets. And if I asked you, would you switch lives with Warren Buffett? You get his $90 billion, but you got to be 94. Would you do it?
Is that the quote or is that a question?
That's the quote. But how would you answer it? You can be Warren Buffett today. $90 billion, but you're 94 years old.
I mean, hell no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what he said. He's like, the more valuable asset is time, not dollars. You can't buy more time.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
No, I mean, so I've read so many things to where I've gathered a conclusion for myself and a perception and a philosophy that I believe in. Maybe that's what a better way to put it is.
Yeah.
It is my personal philosophy on money, success, whatever you want to call it. And, because rich is like, did I tell you this? Maybe I told you this before, but I think, so my philosophy is wealth is a concept of time, whereas rich is just dollars. So for example, which is a really simple example, is, okay, you and I both have $1 million. That's cool. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you make $1 million a year, you have $1 million a year. That's fine. If your expenses are $100,000 every year, in 10 months, your $1 million is now nothing. That's being rich, because your expenses, like, that's where the concept of time comes in, is you have 10 months of being rich.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth means you keep getting paid. It's how long you can be in the game is really what wealth is to me. So if I'm a millionaire, if I have $1 million, how long does that $1 million last me? That's wealth. And this is like, people don't like to hear it because they don't believe it, and there's all these different perspectives that I can have a very good conversation with people about, and they kind of scratch their ass and kind of say, I don't get it. But it's like, wealthy people buy assets, and like, I don't know what the official definition of an asset is, even in accounting, but a true asset, it generates money for you. It returns something to you. So,
or at least it preserves your money.
You would like to think so. So I think the number one biggest misconception is a house is an investment, is an asset. I disagree with that.
Why?
Because there's no guarantee that the price will go up, and you're paying for it.
So well, there's no guarantee the price of anything's going to go up.
Right.
So there's no such thing as
with
an asset?
stocks or dividends, like dividends, you get paid, that's money back into your pocket. Not every stock pays dividends, but you believe that management will at least run the company well enough to where the price will appreciate. And there's analysts and all that crap that like say, I don't even pay. Like I said, I do ETFs. I don't even do companies anymore. But, so it's like,
I think TD Ameritrade,
what money does a house bring in?
It only brings in money when you resell it. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, right.
And it might not.
But even then, that's not a guaranteed return. So if you end up taking it in the shorts and can't sell it, that is not an asset, because you spent money and you paid money to get out of it. Like that's So like an asset would be buying something that, okay, it could be a house if you rented it out for more than what your mortgage payment was. That's cash flow in.
Mm-hmm.
Even if say your mortgage payment is $1,000, if you rent it for $1,100. That's $100 of cash inflow. That's an asset. It's a rental property though. It's not your house.
Interesting.
So that's my whole concept is like there's a huge misconception of like people are like, oh my gosh, I want to be rich. And it's like, think of like all these famous people who have gone bankrupt. You have Nicolas Cage, 50 Cent. You got, and then how many of these, honestly, football players that they're famous for like 3 years, get a big contract, and then they kind of fade out. I think there's a lot more bankruptcies or, like I think Bruce Willis is in some financial trouble.
Really?
Have you seen the quality of movies he's been making? It's like the Nicolas Cage syndrome. Like it's like Nicolas Cage went bankrupt, and that's when
maybe he just likes making movies.
No one likes making bad movies. I mean, Christian Slater made B movies, but after watching Mr. Robot, Christian Slater is like he's
actually a good actor.
He's got my respect because I don't know that.
I remember when we started watching that together, you and I, and you're like, "Is that Christian Slater?" Like the first time he shows up on the screen. I'm like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Oh, weird." We're not used to seeing him in that kind of a role.
Think about it. It's really unusual to find a I wouldn't say bad actor, but an actor who's been in subpar bad movies, like their entire career, and then in something of a caliber, like that's like some next level Mr. Robot. Like that's the tier, like that's like the cream of the crop. That's like the heavy cream.
Yeah.
Like that's the gold standard, but platinum, that's like, I don't know, like seeing Christian Slater in a, I don't know how to, he's like on par with like a Tom Hanks or like a, oh my goodness, what's his name?
Tom Cruise.
No. Well,
Keanu Reeves.
No, stop talking about these guys. I'm talking about like, Bruce Willis. Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, you're talking like, that's the caliber.
Top tier.
That's, Leonardo DiCaprio.
You think Christian Slater's as good of an actor as Leo?
I didn't say that. But
actually, so Alyssa and I...
He'd be sitting at the same table, though, like, after Mr. Robot.
Alyssa and I just finished it the other day.
Leonardo DiCaprio movies, or what?
No, Mr. Robot.
Oh. And? Did she cry when you did?
I did not cry this time. I held it in.
Did she?
No, she didn't. She doesn't really cry ever. But
is she a robot?
She might be. That would actually make a lot of sense.
Do you think? Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah, and I asked her what she thought of it. She said, "Excellent." So I was proud. I was happy because, like, when I'm so obsessed with something, I feel like I'm putting pressure on someone to like it as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want them to be like feel like they have to like it. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like she actually did.
Okay, so let's see. I like that answer, or that I like that observation you made.
Yeah, because that's why. So I will always tell people to watch Mr. Robot because I think anybody can like it. But I'm probably equally as obsessed with Wolfpack, but I understand it's not for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Wolfpack, just to branch off real quick, I like some of their songs, not all of their songs.
Yeah.
But I like Theo Katzman. I can listen to everything of his.
Mm-hmm.
So I through Wolfpack, I found other artists and different artists that I never would have found without exploring Wolfpack. So
same.
Kudos to you. No, I really liked your answer though about I think, pretty much what'd you say? I think I believed her when she said she thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
Because that's that's a observation versus like you said, the pressure you were saying. I felt pressure from other people of like, isn't it like, that's maybe why sometimes I don't like things is they say, you will love it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I watch it or do whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, not really. Like, great example would be The Dark Knight Rises, the third Batman movie by Christopher Nolan. I walked out of that theater and everyone, like, I had this before I heard it what anyone else thought of, but I walked out of that theater and I said, I hated that movie. There's nothing, I liked like 3 things and they were like visually appealing, appeasing.
Like where the stadium like falls in. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, see, I didn't like that was CGI.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't
so like
real.
it's the things like that's the one thing with Christopher Nolan films is they're usually very little CGI, if any, Anyway, but like I walked out there and I said I hated this movie, and everyone I was with was like, "That was awesome. That was like, that's how you end a Batman trilogy thing." And I was like, I said, I understand that you're following up The Dark Knight, which was arguably the best one in the trilogy.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think so too. But I still thought you could have done the bare minimum of like making it good. I don't know. So I
think Bane's just not really that interesting of a villain.
And you couldn't understand half the damn things you were saying.
Nobody cared who I was before I put on this.
I mean, like
that was pretty good.
Like, and you're like, is there subtitles on this? What language is he speaking? And it's like, I'm Batman. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this could be cool, but then I couldn't understand him, and then I'm like, I'm living in The Dark Knight Rises right now. Everyone's wearing a Bane mask, like, and it's like everyone on the like sports. They say something with their mouth covered, and someone's like, "Huh?" And they pull down their mask to say it again. Defeats the purpose. It's funny.
Have you seen Tenet?
Yeah, we were going to see that together, but then you like said, you know what? I'm not going to go with Zach. I'm just going to go with my girlfriend.
That doesn't sound right.
I think that's what happened, though, isn't it?
I don't think so. Anyway, what did you think? Did you like it?
I did. I really actually saw it. I think a week later again because
really?
I really liked it. So here's the best reaction I can describe to you when I left that theater after the first time. I walked out and I was scratching my head and I said, I liked it, but I don't know why.
That's funny.
And so I watched it again, and again, I think there's a trend that it's a pattern that I don't know if I have a sixth sense or if it's just obvious and no one can put words to it, but I think originality has a lot of weight.
Are you
yawning or sneezing?
That was a yawn.
Okay.
You're not bored.
There was nothing like that ever done before.
Yeah.
It was not your typical time travel movie.
Right.
It was a different idea of time travel, whatever. It doesn't.
Right.
It's an original idea that that's what I think I liked about it. And that it's one of the few directors and movies that it's filmed in real life as far as like the opera and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas half the damn movies now are on CGI, green screen, and they look great. Don't get me wrong, but to a degree you could tell,
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. That's what I think. Yeah, I don't know.
I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I'll tell you why. There was like, I liked the story, and I liked the execution. The only thing that really brought it down for me was that the audio was so bad. Like, you couldn't understand what they were saying. So I'm like, I need to watch it again. Mm-hmm. Not only because it's kind of confusing, because of, like, the back and forth time thing, but because I felt like I only understood half of what they were saying. Like, I want to watch it at home, maybe with subtitles. No, I can agree with that, because there were a few lines that you didn't know what they said, and they just kind of moved on, and you're kind of like, I think that was critical. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Like, and I will say, there's one thing I didn't like, and it stands out to me about that movie, is when they were trying to explain like the time travel thing with the bullet or whatever. Yeah.
They explained it, and then he asked like a follow-up question, and she kind of explained it, and then he asked another follow-up question, I think, and then she just said, don't try to understand it. And like they moved on from that. And I was like, hold on, I like want to understand this. Like,
Yeah.
And I think they kind of explained it as the movie moved on. But I was like, don't, in a time travel movie, do not say, don't try to understand it to your audience and try to like work around it. I was like,
Just
come on,
ignore it.
guys.
Don't worry. That's funny.
But yeah, no, good movie. Christopher Nolan. Top notch.
Christopher Nolan or Christian Slater?
Like, who would I rather eat dinner with? What is the question?
I don't know. Who's better?
Who's better? Christopher Nolan.
You were talking some big game for Christian Slater.
I think, you know what I think? I think Christian Slater would be one of the, like, a really fun, Keanu Reeves or Christian Slater, I think would be really fun to, like, hang out with, like, or go bar hopping in New York City or something. Like, I think that'd just be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, no one's saying this about Tom Cruise. I'm just saying.
True. Tom Cruise is lame.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you this right now. He's weird, but I'm one of those people. I think everyone has this, and they don't want to admit it, or maybe they don't know they are going to admit it, but I am the type of person where if there is a Tom Cruise movie that comes out, I will watch it regardless of how dumb it looks. Like, he doesn't make really a bad movie. I mean, Days of Thunder, maybe. But, like, honestly, I think Tom Cruise, like, his movies are always kind of the same. But they're really good. They're done well. And so I will always see a Tom Cruise movie. Even if it looks like garbage, I'll say, you know what? I'm going to see it. I don't even care. I will say this, though. Fast 9. I watched the trailer for that. Oh, my God.
What?
Fast 9? Okay, John Cena is Vin Diesel's brother now. It's like they keep introducing these characters and backstories in the 9th movie. It's like, what don't we know?
I've only seen like 3 of those movies.
It went from street racing and like souped up cars with NOS to now there's like a spaceship car and they're saving the world from like Armageddon.
No way. Is that just in the most recent one or like previous
The
ones?
last one, it was like a nuclear sub and they were like driving in ice or something. It was
weird.
All I'm going to say about that franchise is
shut it down.
No, the horse has been dead after the 4th movie.
Yeah.
The 5th, I think, was probably the, like... Actually, no, I lied. I'm going to step back. The last movie with Paul Walker is when they should have just killed it. Because that ending of that movie, that's where I cried. I bawled like a freaking child. That's when Vin Diesel in the Charger and Paul Walker in his Supra are driving on this, like, long road and they're like having fun, laughing, and then it's that Charlie Puth song.
Yeah, which one?
And then I'm not gonna sing it. You sing it.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. Yes.
See you again.
Yep. So that I cried because you never heard that song until that movie.
You hadn't, or
no one had, because I was like, it came out after that movie. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So like 100%. So then anyway, the cars part and Paul Walker goes and the camera follows Paul Walker by himself in a white car off kind of in the sunset, and it's like, because he died.
Yeah.
I mean, so it probably one of the most emotional parts in cinema, in my opinion.
Really?
Because Paul Walker's dead. That's why it's emotional. If he was still alive, I'd be like, okay, why are you following? He'd be in this freaking 8th and 9th movie too, but
yeah,
no. So that I think.
So how did they explain why he's not in other movies?
It's like the traditional.
He retired.
No, they like Dom and him do like the little like arm grab. Like, oh yeah, like I'm getting out, Dom. And it's like, I don't blame you, brother. Or whatever. I don't even know how Vin Diesel talks, but he's wearing a wife beater with like a crucifix around his neck, and Corona in his hand.
That's like your life goals.
I mean, no. But anyway, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how we got here.
I don't either, but let's get back on track.
Should we do the music thing? I'll give you a little music lesson.
Wait, so that was a quote, or was that like your rich wealth?
No, that was, I just like was curious what you thought about, because it was kind of like a philosophical like definition of being wealthy is like you're young, you have time is money. Cliche.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, there's a lot of philosophy you could go deep into that stuff if you wanted to. We don't have enough time for that though.
Nope. We got all the time in the world, but that's not enough. But
Wow.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw some definitions at you.
Oh God. Definitions, and I have to guess the word.
No. I'm curious, like how much you know about music. It's pretty simple stuff from like a music theory standpoint, but
music theory is not easy.
There's like easy parts of it. Okay. Do you know what a chord is?
Is that like a string of notes that played at the same time? I don't know.
Yeah, basically it's like 3 or more notes played at the same time. I think technically it's 3, but like when you're playing a chord on a guitar, you can strum more strings, but you're actually only playing 3 notes. But there's like you're playing a C note twice. I don't know. I don't know that much about it. Anyway, yeah, basically you're correct. Have you heard the term chord progression?
I've probably heard of it. I don't. Is it? Can I guess what it is? Is that like a thing?
Sure.
Is that where you start with 3 notes and then you strum again and then you add a 4th? Is that a progression of chord or no? Okay,
not quite. So basically, like music theory. Have you heard somebody say like this song is in a key of G?
Yes.
Or this song is in a key of C? Yeah. Basically, what they're saying is like in the key of C, there's different chords you can play with it. So like, a common chord progression, like in each key, there's numbers. So like, you'd say for the key of C, chord number 1 is C. Chord number 5 is G. Chord number 6 is an A minor. Chord number 4 is an F. So that's like a super common chord progression in the key of C. It's just C, G, A minor, F.
Okay.
1, 5, 6, 4.
Okay.
1, 5, 6, 4 is like probably the most common chord progression.
Okay.
So like any key has chord progressions, and they're all numbered so that like if you're in the key of C, you play 1, 5, 6, 4. If you're in a key of G, you play 1, 5, 6, 4. But it's different chords, obviously.
If this is going somewhere, counselor, you better get there quickly.
Okay. Okay. Do you know what a minor chord is and a major chord?
One's under 16. Or under 18.
So basically, like a minor chord, they're used in music to kind of...
They're exploited.
No, they're like... Oh my god. They're used like to like portray sad emotions. Or like major chords are like more happy chords.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I want to try something. I did this with Alyssa a while ago. I want to see if I'm going to play.
Did you see if you could get emotion out of her? Like,
no.
Are you going to cry, babe?
I can't.
Oh.
So I'll play a chord, and I'll play the major version of it and the minor version, and I want to see if you can guess which is the major and which one's the minor.
Easy.
You think so? Yeah.
Easy, yeah. Because you got to go on feeling, brother. How do I feel, man?
Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this, like with the microphone where I can talk into it and play. Okay, this might work. Okay, this is a D.
Sad.
So that's 1.
Happy, come on.
Yeah, okay, that one's pretty easy. The D minor is like supposedly the saddest chord you can play.
Yeah, that's sad.
Sounds pretty sad. Okay. This is an A.
That's happy. Not happy.
Okay. This is an E.
Happy. Not happy. Come on, dude. These are obvious.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cool though that you can just tell right away?
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that like is super cool. You know the song Hallelujah?
Yes. It's got both, right?
Yeah, it's got most songs have both.
Well,
I shouldn't say most. A lot of songs have both, because in a lot of chord progressions there's minor chords.
Okay.
Anyway, Hallelujah, the first verse, he says, "I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you?" And then he says, "Well, it goes like this, the 4th, the 5th." So that he's referring to the chord progression. And like as he's playing it, it's in a key of C. So he plays, it goes like this. He's playing a C. And then he says the 4th plays an F, which is the 4th chord in that chord progression. The 5th plays a G, which is the 5th chord. And then he says the minor fall plays an A minor, because it's like it falls, brings you down.
in the major lift.
The major lift plays an F. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is.
Now when you hear that song, you'll think of that.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think I can play it. Let me see. Maybe I gotta stand up because this is like
an
complex.
anthem, man.
Standing on my headphone cord. Okay. Actually, here I'll sit like this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Now you're like a children's youth retreat at a bonfire.
Hey kids!
There is only one.
That doesn't
river.
sound right.
There is only one sea.
Then he's like, "Well, it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, a minor fall, a major lift." Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool. Look at you, Mr. Expert. When are you going on tour? King Tames and the Soggy Bottom Boys.
And then the other thing, in a lot of like, I don't know if it's specific to like these chord progressions, but they always like to complete the like cycle. You end on the chord of the key. Most songs start on the chord of the key too. So like this song starts with a C because it's in the key of C, and then the last note is also a C because it like your mind like subconsciously wants to get back to the like
where it began.
Key. Yeah. So like a lot of musicians will use that to make you feel uncomfortable by like not going back to the key.
And they're like, I want to listen to that again.
I don't know if it's that. It's just like they're trying to convey an emotion.
Or an addiction.
Yep.
So, you've never been to Las Vegas.
Never.
I want to gauge your meter.
Uh-huh.
What do you think Las Vegas is all about?
Partying.
You're wrong. Continue. Onward.
Gambling.
Wrong.
Having a good time with your friends.
Hell yeah, brother.
Is that the right answer? Yourself. What's the answer you were looking for?
No. I think there's a huge misconception. Everyone I've talked to who has not been to Las Vegas.
I've seen The Hangover.
So that depends on what you want to do with Las Vegas. But I was one of these people. I will wholeheartedly admit it. Like, I was the person that was like, Las Vegas, all it is drunk parties, gambling, and like staying up all night. Not really down in my wheelhouse. Like, I don't gamble. I hate gambling. I'd rather fold a $20 bill into like a little sailboat and flush it down the toilet. That would give me more joy than like losing it at a damn casino.
Typical accountant.
That's not. Yeah. Well. So then.
Isn't the stock market gambling?
No, that's a misconception.
Okay, sorry, move. Keep going.
Yeah, no, so, everyone that has never been to Vegas, like I said, I was one of them. I was like Jake was like, I don't, like, you just need to come. And that's the greatest answer. I was like, I don't want to gamble. I don't want to do this. No, you don't have to. And I'm like, okay, and he's like, no, you just need to come. That's the best answer you can tell someone who's never been to Las Vegas. Don't tell them, like, the only thing I add or sprinkle is every time you go, you can do something different, and it can be wildly different. Like, you can go hiking, you can go to the Hoover Dam, you can try the various crazy, amazing food. Like, the best cooks and chefs in the world, arguably, are in Las Vegas. I mean, yeah, I don't know. And then there's these spectacular shows that you won't see anywhere else. Or if you do, it's like you got to go somewhere super exotic, and it's like, okay, so now I'm in wherever, but I don't want to be here. I don't know. So the reason I ask is, like, I was in the same boat as a lot of people who say, I don't like gambling, I don't like drinking, I don't like doing all this stuff. And that's where I'm like, you do not have to. That's my big thing, is like, people it's like all they see in the advertisements are just neon lights, people getting drunk, and like someone throwing dice and gambling and all that crap. It's like,
yeah.
And that's obviously what Vegas wants you to do, because that's where they make all their money. I guarantee, actually, I'm willing to put money on it. Very few hotels, if any hotels, in that whole city make money. Hotels and restaurants probably lose money. I'd bet someone $100 if they could show me a balance sheet of just a hotel.
Aren't most of the hotels attached to casinos?
Yeah. So that's what the whole thing is. That's why they give you a free night.
Yeah.
And because they want you to go gamble.
Because you're like, I'm living for free.
Like, even the $15 a beer prices are obnoxious and out of, stupid. I guarantee you still don't make money on that. I'm willing to bet the farm.
Because they give away so much?
Not even that. Like, the reason they give away beers when you're, like, gambling is because they know as people drink, they gamble more.
Your pockets get looser.
So, like, and that's a really, like, as from an accounting standpoint and all that, it's one of those things, I don't think you can really measure it specifically 1-to-1. Like, you can say, like, the more people get drunk, the more they gamble. You can say that. But you can't quantify and say, all right, if we give out 100 free drinks tonight, this will increase how much revenue in gambling. You can't. That's unpredictable. You can't.
Yeah.
You can only make the generalization of, like, just hand out drinks left and right. Like, wait 20 minutes when they put in a beer order, or like if you come around and say, "Can I get you anything for free?" and they ask for a Bud Light, wait 15-20 minutes, because they're going to keep gambling, because they're going to be waiting for that damn drink. So, anyway, I know how the game works. And the only way to win is not playing it.
Do they still give you free drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, but it's I've heard a few different perspectives. I have one friend who said his uncle did this and it worked out for him very well, where if you're planning on settling in and gambling for a while, when the server gal or guy comes around and says, "Hey, you want a free drink or something?" You say, "Yeah, I'll take," and you could say whatever you want, really. And then you tip them like $5, maybe $10 cash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then everyone's saying that's not free. Then that turnaround on drinks is a lot faster. Like there's an incentive there because they know you're a good tipper kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though like you do it once and then you don't really do it after that. But I've never done it because I don't really care. And usually I'm 3 sheets to the wind in the casino. So, but I don't know. So anyone listening who's like, I never want to go to Vegas, I would say every reason you don't want to go is the reason you should go because you don't have to do those things. So if you hate gambling, don't gamble. If you hate pools, don't go in the pool. If you hate having fun, don't have fun. I was, like I said, the best answer you can give, in my opinion, would be just go or come with me.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you're right. You should go with people that have been before.
At least one person that's been before.
Yeah.
But it for me, the first time I went, my head almost exploded. I think it actually did.
Is that what happened to your hair?
No, I didn't have hair when I went. I don't think I did. No, but that's it's a really great. I'm telling you, like it's like culture shock.
Yeah.
Like if you were to I think if you met a foreigner in a different land, and they were like, oh, where should I go? I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to go to New York City. Those are like the cool places in America. You should be like, no, you want the American experience? Go to Las Vegas. And then they'd be like, oh, Las Vegas, like, okay. And then it's like, okay, I want to go to Los Angeles, but I kind of don't because I know based on TV shows how big it is. I don't even know where I'd go.
Yeah.
Like, what is there to see in Los Angeles other than being in LA?
It's true.
Like New York City, my boss actually told me, he's like, we went to New York City for 4 or 5 days, maybe 5 or 6 days, I can't remember. But he said we just hopped pub to pub. We went to shows on like Broadway and all that stuff. And he said that is how you do New York City, is like you just bop around, hail a cab, like, so that's how you do New York City. And he said it was one of the greatest times he's had traveling, because he said it was loosey goosey. There's bars everywhere, and like he just said it was really fun. And after hearing that, I was like, I kind of want to go to New York now. I've been to Philly. I love Philly. I've been to DC. I've been to Annapolis, but I'd like to go back.
I think Alyssa and I are going to go to Zion National Park.
Is that where? Wait, Zion, isn't that in Utah?
Mm-hmm. Actually, you fly into Vegas, and it's like 100-something miles.
Wait, is she driving? What do you mean you are flying into Las Vegas?
I just mean like the collective you, anybody that's going there.
Oh, gotcha. My parents went there, but they drove. They drove across, they did like a whole Western tour. Like they saw my uncle in Idaho, my aunts in Cali. Yeah, and then they like zipped back up. Or I think that I had an uncle in Reno at the time, and it was so they kind of did like a family tour, and then they stopped in Zion, and they loved it.
It's supposed to be
sweatshirts, of course.
Nice. It's supposed to be like the best national park in the U.S.
Isn't Glacier better?
I don't know.
Oh.
I might have just made that up.
I think you did.
Thank you.
I mean, now that you're saying, like, I think I may have made that up, now I'm like, I'm 100% made that up.
Oh, that's funny. My bad.
It's all right.
I just make up stats. It's fine.
It's all good. What else is new in your life?
Okay. I don't know. Nothing.
I've been I had an conversation with. So I want you to explain the NFT thing.
Okay.
Because I was having a discussion with someone, and we were trying to. He was really asking questions, and I said, I don't know. I can speculate as what I think, but I don't know for a fact of how it all works, and so that's where he kept asking, and I said, "That's great, you're asking, but you're talking to a brick wall right now because I will not say anything that I'm not confident or know."
Okay, how deep do you want me to go?
How much time do you have?
So basically, like an NFT, most people that have heard of it think of it as digital art, which is one application. NFT stands for non-fungible token. Basically, it's taking the idea of the blockchain that was started with Bitcoin and applying, like basically, one Bitcoin is the same as any other Bitcoin that exists, meaning it's fungible. Non-fungible token means that each token is different. So, or I guess can be different. So it's basically there's the blockchain, which we've talked about in the previous episodes, and tied into the blockchain are these non-fungible tokens, NFTs.
Okay.
So that can represent anything. So it could be used for proof of ownership of a digital art piece, or maybe sometime down the road they'll have it where you could have your title for your car or your house, provable ownership as a non-fungible token. I don't know.
So I guess that's where our discussion went to, is like, who is paying $50,000 for like a digital pixelated cat?
It's a great question, and really the answer is
not so. So the real question is not who, but why.
Could be art speculators. So like some of the really expensive NFTs are actual like artists creating them, but some of the other ones are just like historically relevant because they're like, maybe like a really famous one is called CryptoPunks, just like pixelated dudes, I guess, and women, and it's they're selling for like tens of thousands of dollars or more just because they were the first NFTs created.
I know, but and I guess that's kind of where.
So I guess really to answer your question, it's speculators that are speculating that the price is going to go up, and most of these people, you have to remember that they're people that have gotten rich because they bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin or Ethereum when it was very cheap. So they're not looking at it as $50,000. They're looking at it as like 30 Ethereum that they paid $5 for. You know.
Yeah, no, I kind of get that. I guess that's what I'm trying to understand, though, is like, where is this going? Because can I, like, I can't create. Can I do like an NFT of like a picture of this video? I mean, like,
yeah,
but
doesn't mean anybody's going to pay for it,
right?
So I think a lot of like NFTs that are getting created right now, it's all kind of like a hype cycle.
Can you NFT all, like, how much does it cost to do an NFT for like an image that you take, a picture that you take?
I'm not sure. It's probably like $30-$40. It's just the network fees that you're paying to create it.
So that's where, can you seize a moment then?
Yeah, so one thing, like the last couple of weeks or months, there's been like protocols that were created that you could just like, if someone would tweet something, you could turn it into an NFT. So people had NFTs of other people's tweets, and it kind of like there's not really a way to stop it, but people were getting upset that like there would be just random people claiming their tweets as NFTs.
Well, that's what I mean. So like, where does it? And so I know a good point that my friend brought up was, So if you have you could make an NFT out of a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's if there are 100 people with a camera taking the same picture, what's the point? Why would you ever do that?
Well, so think about it this way.
Can you sell that moment?
Yeah, you could sell anything. I could take a picture of that box and sell it as an NFT, but most likely no one's going to buy it.
That's what I mean. But who? What? So that's the question. Who would buy NFTs if not for speculative? Would anyone? Is it purely speculative?
No. You could say an artist that you liked, I don't know, Wolfpack created an NFT of a song,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, I love Wolfpack. They're selling it for $20. I will buy it to support this artist that I like. Okay. That's an example.
But what do I do with it then? That's what I'm saying.
It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it.
So can I sell it?
Yeah.
Can I license it? Can I do what?
It would depend on they would have to make that clear in the sale that they're selling you the licensing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I still don't.
Which has happened. There's been musical artists that have done that.
Nice.
This one dude sold an album for $8 million or something like that.
Nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. What else? You got anything else?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Nope.
All right. I'm trying to think. You doing Ragbri this year?
I think so. My dad asked me. I said, yeah, I'd go. He asked if I would go the whole week. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, depending on how many days you go, I'll be interested.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, brother. You got some bibs?
Do I?
Yeah.
No. You do.
You got a rocket.
A rocket?
Yeah.
To
keep up with me?
Oh, no, I do not. You're too fast.
Well,
do you want to explain what Ragbri is?
I want you to explain it.
Ragbri is an acronym. It stands for Register's Annual Great Bike Ride Across Iowa. So
it sounds way lamer than it actually is. Yeah, I've never done it though.
It's a yearly thing, annual thing. They do it in July, and there's tens of thousands of people that will start. It always starts on the west side, the very border of Iowa, and you ride over the course of a week all the way to the east side. So you start by dipping your tire in the Missouri River, and then you end dipping your tire in the Mississippi River. And it's just there's 10 people or tens of thousands of people biking in huge packs across Iowa, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And the little towns you ride through, they're they'll put on concerts and have outdoor barbecues, because this is the most exciting thing that's happened in these little tiny towns in Iowa since the last time it came through.
The only thing I have to add to that is, because I've never done it, but when Tim says tens of thousands, as if it's there are tens of 20s of people in Costco. He showed me video footage and drone footage of these cyclists, and it's it's nuts. It is tens of thousands. I mean, that's a lot. Think about that for people on bikes. I mean, where do you put them on the road? It's that's a lot of people.
They take up the whole road.
Yeah.
You can't drive.
As far as the eye can see, you just see cyclists over this damn hill, and you're
you could.
When does it end? Who's in last place? Who finishes last? That's the question for a race like that. And who's first? I mean, is it a Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, there's legit professional bikers that do it.
Classic
cyclists. Yeah, it's fun. It's when I did it 3 days. I think it was 50 miles, and 70 something miles.
He almost died.
I didn't almost die, but the 70-miler was tough because we were like basically had a crosswind the whole day, like 15 miles an hour crosswind. Oh, that was not fun. I mean, it was fun. It was fine because once you kind of get in a groove, like you can go for a while as long as you're in decent shape.
And just here's a little fun thing. I think if everything goes as planned, you'll never remember it, or you won't talk about it.
Why?
Think about it. If I'm trying to think, how many family vacations have you been on that, other than like it was just fun? Was there something specific that went wrong that, you know, I can think
something
of
memorable.
Every vacation that I remember growing up as a kid, when something went wrong, that's the one me and my family continually speak of and talk about. But we don't remember anything else from the trip because it was just kind of blah. Or it was like fun in the moment, but we don't remember it.
Yeah.
We remember the things that went wrong and how we dealt with it, and we're laughing at it now.
Yeah.
I just think that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know if everyone else feels that way, but I encourage you all to reflect and think about the most fun family trips you've ever been on, and what is the most memorable piece of that. I think it's when things go wrong. I mean,
yeah,
you know, or fun. I guess, yeah, embarrassing things too. You know,
yeah.
But DM us if you have that.
You want to leave it at that?
Yep, let's leave it at that.
All right. Thanks for listening. At Couch Beers Pod on Instagram and Twitter, couchbeerspodcast@gmail.com. See ya.
See you. Bye-bye.